Coming from Hawaii, I wasn't sure how well I'd adapt to the cold. But it turns out that maybe I'm built for this kind of weather. My time in the Marine Corps certainly served me well because I can trench, I can dig, and I have dug trenches all over this property. You've seen them in some of the other videos. You'll see them in this video too because I can't stop showing them or digging them. But more than that, my adaptation to the cold, it's really surprised me. The other day I was in my underwear, not feeling particularly cold, and I realized it was 50 degrees. And that's pretty cold when you live in Hawaii, but it didn't feel that cold to me. I sleep at night in a room that regularly drops below freezing, but I have lots of blankets, nice, warm blankets. And my general living area in Satoshi Manor was pretty warm. That's where I can do art, I can be creative, and when I want to go outside, I can ski just right up the street. It doesn't matter how cold it is. I've figured out how to stay warm in any conditions. Now, I'm not asking to be thrown into a survival situation of the cold because I think that that's a completely different scenario. But man, it's so cool to be here. So the snow has piled up on the side of my house, up to the roof. It started to come off the roof. It's actually iced over the roof, and I don't know what the future is going to be here. You know, in this picture, you can see that the snow had come off my roof. Now it's starting to pile on it. But I stay in here. It insulates the house. I stay warm inside when there's a blizzard outside. And when it's nice outside, I go out and I try to enjoy it. There's icicles. The ice from my roof has made a cave. And I meet fun people. I've hosted couch surfers. I've made friends in Sapporo. And I've made friends here in Otaru. So I'm not completely alone. I'm not completely in the loneliness epidemic that is gripping the world and gripping Japan. But going to something like the Snow Festival in Sapporo by myself, well, it was a little less than satisfying. The snow sculptures are amazing, and it's fun to see people out enjoying themselves, having a good time. But the truth is, I often have to go do things by myself or not do them at all. And that's difficult. Still, I would rather go out and do things by myself than not do them at all. And the Snow Festival in Sapporo was pretty amazing. These pieces of art carved from snow, temporary art, these will disappear. You know, next week, they will bulldoze them all down. And that's amazing. This is creation for creation's sake. It blows my mind. But I came back to Otaru, and the high school students next door to my house, they had built a snow festival of their own. The Snow-Lit Path in Otaru. This festival is built on the work of Sei Itose, a writer who lived in Otaru, who wrote in Otaru, and who wrote a story that touched the hearts and the souls of the people here. So people ask me, why did you move to Otaru? I mean, look at this. Because this happens. Because there's a snow-lit path right next to my house. There weren't crowds going to see it. This wasn't a tourist event. This was just something that was done. And because of this, and because a short distance away, I can go to Sapporo and I can see things like this. The snow festival was amazing. I went back the next day. My friend Audrey and her sister, they were going and they said, come with us. And I have to say, going with another person, with other people, was so much more fun and enjoyable than just going by myself. Audrey says, so many patterns, I'm making all these patterns. And it's true. The patterns with people are the patterns that matter. And it's a lot more fun to do things with people than to do them by yourself. But still, I end up alone sometimes, and that's all right. I've made friends here. I've made friends there. As you know, I make friends everywhere. And it's cool to see this kind of thing, this celebration of culture. Why did you move to Otaru? Why did you move to Japan? Why would you leave America? Because America is a culture of fear. America has a culture of anxiety. And it may not affect everyone how it affected me, but every time I saw a homeless person in America, I thought that could be me. Every time I paid my rent, I thought, I hope the landlord doesn't raise my rent more. Every time I couldn't buy a house because they're out of my price range, I thought, when will I ever be secure in where I live? Greatest country in the world, because it's not the greatest country in the world. It's a country. But for me, I don't know that there is a greatest country in the world. But when I go to a movie theater in America, the thing I think is some nut job going to come in here because he has a mental problem or because he had problems at work and start shooting. And if I go to a festival or a snowlit path in America, I think, is some crazy person loading up their rifle right now, getting prepared to fire from the MGM Grand upon everybody down here who's smiling and enjoying life. And the anxiety of America isn't just the anxiety of worrying about getting shot. It's worrying about sending your kids to school where they might get shot. And that anxiety has spread to the world. I know it's not just America now, but it is American culture that's spreading that, I believe. But America has other anxieties, Are you good enough? Are you smart enough? Do you make enough money? Are you handsome enough? Are you too old? Are you too fat? Are your clothes nice enough? Are they impressive enough? Do you look good enough in a swimsuit? Is your house big enough? Did you say the right thing? The anxiety never stops. Is the company going to continue? Will the company stop? I've worked for companies that stopped. They don't care about you. They don't care about your life. They don't care about your responsibilities. You have to be anxious if you live in America. You have to be anxious because you never know what is going to come next. And now, these days, that's gotten worse. But here, I know what's coming next. The snow sculptures in Sapporo will be bulldozed. The snow will be plowed and sent to the ocean, to the big snow graveyard. We'll have more storms. The snow will melt. We'll have water. We'll have tourists. I know I'll go out in the snow and I'll find untrod paths where I can snowshoe around and see the trail of a fox and follow it right to the end if I want to. So, why did I move to Otaru? Why did I move to Japan? Why did I move to Hokkaido? Why did I leave America, the greatest country in the world? I'm lonely here, but it's better than that.